been good, man. Mentally, spiritually. I've been on top of my... I'll be back out there, you hear me?
This was Durkio, live on DJ Academic Stream, his voice filled with confidence, telling the world he'd be home soon. But inside the courtroom, a very different reality was unfolding. The optimism he shared on stream began to fade as the harsh truth set in. Durk's in deep, bail, still denied, his high-powered attorney's motion to dismiss the case, cracking under pressure. Even with what his team claims is clear-cut evidence, the prosecution isn't backing down. In fact, things are looking worse by the day. Despite the defiant tone Durk projected online, the legal system isn't swayed by hope. It moves on hard facts. And right now, those facts are stacking against him.
On one of the evidence they allegedly presented to a grand jury, they're claiming it's entirely false.
Things may seem calm on the surface, but behind closed doors, Lil Durk's world is spiraling. Rumors are swirling that he even stormed out of a courtroom in frustration. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. The man once hailed as the face of Chicago drill, legally known as Durk Derek Banks, is now facing some of the most serious accusations of his life. Federal agents swooped in and arrested Durk in October 2024, just as he was about to board a private jet in Florida. The charges? A suspected murder-for-hire scheme that allegedly targeted fellow rapper Quando Rondo. That operation reportedly led to the killing of Rondo's cousin, Savaya Lou Pab Robinson, in Los Angeles back in August 2022. Ever since, Durk has been locked down, denied bail again and again, even after his legal team put serious money on the table. We're talking a $2.3 million equity deal plus $1 million in straight cash, and the court still said no. He pled not guilty in November 2024, but with the case tangled in complexity and mountains of evidence, the trial was pushed to October 2025. Prosecutors and defense attorneys alike are combing through 230 gigabytes of digital files and a staggering 20,000 pages of documents. It's a labyrinth of legal warfare, and both sides are digging deep. Just last month, Durk's lawyers tried to dismantle the case altogether. On April 18, 2025, they filed a motion arguing that the feds twisted the facts, using his lyrics, as if they were literal blueprints for a crime. They claimed the prosecutors misled the grand jury by citing lines from a track Durk recorded 7 months before the shooting, suggesting it showed premeditation. His team says that this misuse of art as evidence skewed the entire legal process from the jump, and there's more at stake than just one criminal case. On May 8th, Durk's attorneys are making a final push for his release ahead of trial, proposing a new bail deal worth millions, including a hefty cash offer, real estate assets, and 24/7 monitoring. This might be his last chance to see the micro outside before he's hauled into court in October. If convicted, Durk could be staring down a life sentence, with some whispers even mentioning the death penalty. Though unconfirmed, it adds weight to an already crushing situation. But the criminal case isn't all he's battling. In February 2025, the family of Lou Pab filed a wrongful death lawsuit, naming not just Durk, but also his manager, his record label only the family and associated companies. Their claim? That Durk and his circle played a role in the deadly setup. And this wasn't the first lawsuit pointing fingers. In October 2024, the mother of slain rapper FBG Duck, Lakina Weekly, launched a civil case accusing Durk and the late King Von's estate of being tied to her son's gang-related murder in Chicago's Gold Coast back in 2020. That suit didn't stop at individuals. It roped in record labels, private security firms, and even big-name brands. According to her legal team, Durk's label operated more like a criminal syndicate than a music company, turning violent feuds into profitable headlines. Prosecutors are also hinting at more than what's officially on paper. They allege Durk could be tied to other killings, including a potential revenge hit on someone connected to his brother's 2021 murder. Court filings mention witness statements and even text messages linking Durk to paid hits on rival gang members and possible retaliation efforts. Durk's legal history adds another layer of intrigue. His run-ins with the system go back over a decade. In 2011, he was hit with a weapons charge involving a gun with its serial number scratched off. In 2013, he caught another gun case in Chicago, but managed to beat it with witness affidavits and legal maneuvering. For a moment, it looked like he was changing lanes, publicly announcing in 2020 that his record had been wiped clean and embracing a more reformed path. By August 2024, Durk was posting about his Muslim faith and stepping away from gang life. He told fans not to label him anything other than a man, a father, and a Muslim. His Instagram echoed a message of personal growth. You can't live both lives. It wasn't just words either. He launched the Neighborhood Heroes Foundation to uplift communities, donated music royalties to fund scholarships, and even partnered with Amazon Music to support students at Howard University. But despite these efforts, his October arrest brought everything crashing down. He's been held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Los Angeles for over 6 months now. Reports say he's broken jail rules by making unauthorized three-way calls, and prosecutors have used that to argue against his release. Still, even from behind bars, Durk has kept his music alive. In March 2025, his team dropped a trailer for a new album, Deep Thoughts, including a phone call with Durk himself. The album cover showed him in a graffiti-tagged cell, and it looked AI-generated. In the trailer, Durk sent a message loud and clear: "The streets still need me." Yet controversy shadows everything. A phone recording surfaced on a track by Hypno Caro, allegedly featuring Durk from jail. While some believe it's real, others called it AI fakery. Caro, along with longtime producer Young Chop and other allies, have spoken up for Durk, painting him as a loyal, resilient leader who lifted up his city. Not everyone sees him that way. Lupab's mother, Andrea Robinson, continues to push her wrongful death suit, saying Durk bankrolled the murder that claimed her son's life. FBG Duck's mom also refuses to back down, accusing him of profiting off pain and disrespecting her son's memory. Ironically, Quando Rondo, the rapper allegedly targeted in the murder-for-hire plot, has taken a peaceful stance. In October 2024, he posted on Instagram, calling for an end to the beef, acknowledging the toll the streets have taken on everyone involved. His message wasn't about taking sides, just moving on. But while Rondo is offering peace, the justice system isn't so forgiving. Prosecutors are stacking evidence, including flight logs, bank records, surveillance clips, and digital files. They claim Durk's crew moved from Chicago to LA just before Lupab was killed, even pointing to a podcast he recorded at a rental home days before the shooting. One of the prosecution's most controversial angles is still the use of his lyrics, specifically a song allegedly altered after the fact to include news clips of Rondo's reaction. Durk's team insists those edits were fan-made and not part of the original track. Legal experts are divided, with some warning that using rap lyrics as confession-style evidence could set a dangerous precedent. And that's not all. Prosecutors suspect Durk had a hand in a second killing, the 2022 murder of Stephen Mack in Chicago, believed to be linked to Durk's slain brother. 2 men, including Preston J.B. Marley Powell and Anthony A.J. Wilson, were tied to that murder-for-hire plot. A.J.'s already behind bars, but J.B. Marley is still at large, with a reward out for his capture. Texts between them allegedly mention Durk as the money man behind the hit. And now, the question haunting this entire saga: who's snitching? Chicago streets are buzzing with speculation. Some are pointing fingers at someone named Jam, with King Yella, a known rapper from the Gangster Disciples, even calling it out online. So while Lil Durk remains locked up, the storm around him only grows. He's got powerful allies, fierce opponents, and the feds breathing down his neck. Whether he beats the charges or falls under the weight of the system, one thing is certain: this is the biggest fight of his life.
But I heard somebody named OTF Jam, they said they've been calling him a rat. And basically he said, okay, I'm a rat. Well, watch this.
This part of the story takes a deeper, more personal turn. And it's striking, because the man at the center of the latest whispers isn't just anyone. It's Jam, a longtime associate of Lil Durk, someone who got out of prison in February 2022 after serving a brutal 12-year sentence for attempted murder. Now, whispers on the streets and social media are painting Jam as the potential informant behind Durk's current legal chaos. But Jam's not taking that quietly. He's come out swinging, trying to distance himself from the allegations. In a post that quickly gained traction, he said, "KCJ Hester, that's my real name. Until you see that name on any paperwork, don't come at me with that nonsense." But the twist? He's flipped the accusation back on Durk. Jam is now claiming that Durk might have been the one doing the snitching through his own music. In a social media post, Jam fired back, "Calling me a rat or a snitch? Rappers snitch on themselves every day in their songs." He was referring to a verse from King Von's track Back Again, where Durk raps, "Jam, get out that jam, I give him 50, ain't gotta ask again." He was catching murders way back then. That's when the max was in. To some, it sounded like Durk was glorifying their shared past. But to others, including prosecutors, it reads like a lyrical confession, tying money, freedom, and violence all in one line. And here's where things get messier. Jam admitted in an interview that when he came home from prison, Durk did, in fact, bless him financially, showing love after a long stretch behind bars. That part of the verse, at least, appears rooted in real events. So now the irony is heavy. The man accused of snitching is accusing Durk of dry snitching, through bars meant for entertainment, now weaponized in a federal case. The line between art and evidence, it's thinner than ever, and someone's truth is about to crack wide open.
They gave you 50, bro. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? Fact.
More than that. Shit. They like more than that. Shit.
But shit, can you tell us how much he gave you, or you don't want to even?
No, we ain't gotta get into all that, but bro made sure.
According to Jam, everything changed after Durk dropped that controversial line in a track, the one that casually referenced Jam's past. What seemed like just another gritty lyric in a drill song turned into something far more serious. Jam claims that line put a target on his back. He didn't hold back online, posting, "Who snitched on who? He snitched on me in a song. Police all over me after that. Oh, he catching murders? Let's get him." And Jam isn't the only one, pointing fingers. Another affiliate from Durk's circle, known as Win, jumped into the chaos, taking to Instagram with explosive accusations. He posted photos of Marlon Kirsch and Karen Hollins, along with a chilling caption, "Wore a wire on me." That's not just internet gossip. It's a serious allegation. If true, it would mean law enforcement might have used secret recordings to implicate Durk in a variety of crimes. The most explosive claim? That Durk was caught on tape allegedly talking about King Von's past hits, a conversation that could link him to acts long buried, or so they thought. What makes this even more unsettling is the timeline. In August 2022, authorities pinned 3 murders on King Von, including the assassination of a notorious female shooter, K.I., and Von had already been dead for 2 years. That raised a lot of eyebrows. Where did that intel come from? Was someone talking? Or was someone being listened to? This all feeds into a much bigger debate that's been heating up in the hip-hop world. Should rap lyrics be allowed in court as evidence? Durk's legal team is pushing back hard. One of their points centers on a track called "Wonderful Wayne and Jackie Boy," a song prosecutors used to argue premeditation. The defense says the track was recorded well before the alleged crime even took place. So if that's true, were the grand jurors misled by prosecutors turning artistic bars into legal bullets? This isn't the first time this has happened. We saw similar moves in Young Thug's high-profile RICO trial. And critics, like Professor Eric Nielsen, have warned that treating rap lyrics as confessions is not only lazy but dangerously misguided. Hip-hop, they argue, is storytelling, gritty, layered, often fictionalized storytelling, and taking those verses at face value in a courtroom is a fundamental misunderstanding of the genre. Now, Lil Durk's case sits at a cultural crossroads. On one side, you've got serious allegations involving organized violence and snitching within inner circles. On the other, a Grammy-winning artist, praised for his philanthropy, founder of the Neighborhood Heroes Foundation, a man who's donated to educational programs and tried to uplift his community. That contrast is sharp. From early run-ins with the law over weapons to now facing accusations of orchestrating murder-for-hire plots, Durk's path mirrors a larger narrative, one about trying to leave the streets behind after finding fame, about loyalty, accountability, and whether the system gives black artists room to evolve without dragging their past into the present. This case isn't just about Durk. It's about the future of hip-hop, the criminal justice system, and what happens when art, legacy, and law collide.